today's concept, because we went over a big list of 10 things and important concepts to keep in mind in jiu-jitsu. And one important concept we always tell people is to keep your elbows in. Right? Now this is very important from a defensive mindset, right? Anytime that I'm in like bottom side control, bottom mount, whatever, right? There's no reason for me to reach for things, right? And anytime that I do, it's gonna wind up getting me in trouble, right? And this is very apparent because of rolling, right? Whenever someone is able to get under their arms, you get tapped, right? You get tapped all the time the more you reach out. But the thing is, this elbows rule, always keep your elbows in. This is true even offensively, right? For the same reason that you're going to be stronger by keeping your elbows in when you're defending, it's going to be hard for people to pull your elbows away to attack them, right? We're also going to be stronger when we're attacking and keeping our elbows in here, right? And this is something that comes up a lot in Kimura, especially. When I'm getting my Kimura here, oftentimes I have to reach to get the grip set up, right? I have to kind of accommodate to whatever my partner is doing, right? In order to establish the first grips here, right? But as soon as I get my figure 4 grip from here, now my goal becomes how can I tighten this up and pull everything in. So what I want to do is I want to either bring his elbow towards me or I'll bring myself towards the Kimura here. But my goal again is to bring my elbows into my body here. This is where I'm going to be the strongest possible, right? If I'm just Kimuraing out here and there's a space between me and my partner and my elbows are as far out as they could possibly be, Ethan's going to rip through this, right? There's no way I'm going to be able to keep this or be strong enough to keep him from escaping or powering through it, right? So even though I might have to reach out to get the Kimura, once I do, my goal becomes how can I pull my elbows in here, right? And this is also true with the backpack, right? Can I have you back control here? All right, if I get my seatbelt grip, this is great, right? But what I want to do once I establish this grip is I want to pull my elbows back to me here, right? And so this is going to keep his back glued to my chest here. A lot of people when they're here, like they get this grip and they're like, cool, right? And the problem is though, even though they have like what looks to be good back control, if you're not pulling and tightening up this space here, right, Ethan's gonna have a really easy time starting to escape, right? Because there's all this space here, right? So when I'm here, a detail is you still want to pull your elbows back. Now, even if he starts to escape, right, I'm going to stay attached to him, right? And I can use this grip to start resetting. Right, so even when you're in offensive positions, right, you should be exerting a small amount of energy, keeping everything tight, keeping everything in a place where it's going to be super strong. Another place is going to be our Canadian turtle. Right, when we're in a guillotine here, right, when I get my grip, right, and I'm here, I want to start pulling my elbows back and eliminate this space here. Okay, so not only am I like on top of them, being heavy with gravity, I want to pull from the bottom too. Right, and this can be done with a lot of different grips, right, but the basic one that I like, here, I'll do this side, is going to be this gable grip here, right? And when I get this set, I don't want to just be here hanging out, right? I want to be driving into him and at the same time pulling this up here, right? Pulling, him into my chest here and eliminating all the space and keeping it really tight and keeping the whole system under tension here, right? And now, then I can decide where I want to go. Right? Roll underneath, and here I'm still tight, right? I'm not relaxed here. I'm always trying to pull this in and eliminate any sort of space that might want to manifest mid-transition, right? And then by keeping this tight, it's easy for me to lock in my rear naked choke grip to finish the icon. Right, same thing. If I'm in my butterfly guard here, right? I might reach out to make a connection because in guard I feel a little bit more comfortable reaching and exposing my arms here. But as soon as I make my connection here, my elbows come back to my body. I'm pulling him into my chest here. I'm trying to hang my body off of his head and neck, right? My legs are extending him out, right? I'm not just relaxed here, I'm just hanging out doing nothing, right? I'm pulling my chest up. I'm keeping weight on him here, right? Pulling my elbows in so that I feel heavier, I feel stronger than I actually am, right? If we're here and he's way far away and I'm reaching up here, I'm not going to be able to pull him down or control him as much, right? So I want to find a place where I can keep my elbows tight and then start working on breaking his posture down and going for these nice guillotines. Similarly, the nice Gordon Ryan thing we've been working on for a while, right? Similar position, right? If I have to reach up and get this grip here, that's fine, but as soon as I get my gable grip, my elbows pull into my ribs, right? And I'm attaching my chest and my hips to this one part of his body, and if he tries to posture up, he's going to pull my entire body with him, right? Because I'm hanging off of it. I'm not relaxed, right? If I'm relaxed and he postures up, right, he's going to pull through, right? So I need to be keeping my elbows in, keeping my elbows glued here, right? And now, like, it's something that he has to deal with. Yeah, I like this series. When we're in half guard, we come up on this underhook, right? I get my gable grip here, right? But I'm gonna pull my elbows in, right? And I can start using that to make sure he's bearing my weight in that half guard position, right? Or even, right, I pull this in, I like to get this butterfly in here, and I can actually like pull the spine to make him very uncomfortable. Or the one from butterfly when we come in here, when we get under, right? I want to pull in with my elbows and use that to roll over. Or like close guard here, right? My goal here, I want to be in a place where I'm in control of his posture and I've got my elbows in. So I usually go into this kind of, what is this, over tie here, right? Where I've got this, clench grip here. Right? And now I'm trying to keep my elbows glued to my body here. So if he postures up, right, it shouldn't be easy for him to pull through this, right? Keeping weight here, and I'm attached. Right, so elbows in. All right, same concept, right? We're focusing on elbows and pulling our elbows back, right? When I'm in this Kimura grip or this armbar position, right? What I'm trying to do is making sure I have good, comfortable grips, but I'm pulling up and in, right, on this grip, right? By pulling my shoulders up and my elbows back, I can make sure that his elbow is less likely to slip down through this gap here, right? So I'm pulling up and in here, right? What's nice about this though, with my legs, I can use my legs as kind of like a brace against this arm here, right? So even if he tries to pull this elbow in, right, just pull it that way, just straight through, right? My legs, the structure of my legs keeps him from being able to pull this elbow out, right? The way he tried to escape before, that's going to be the biggest vulnerability, right? Where he turns towards me and he's trying to slip this elbow out. Good. All right, so to prevent that from happening, right, we need to focus on pulling this wrist down, all right? So I'm going to lock everything in, push down on the wrist, pull up on the shoulder, keep the elbows super locked into the body here. All right, I want to be able to really hang off of this here and know that my entire torso is going to stay attached to this arm. Okay, so elbows in, feeling really strong, right? And I can start pressuring just even the bicep slicer of the move, just from having such a tight grip. All right, so half guard, come on. Right, same deal, right? If I reach and I'm trying to get this Kimura here, right? Yeah, can you just sit back here? Right, so I might have to come up and extend my arm to get this first wrapping of the arm here, right? However, if I get this Kimura here and I leave my elbow relaxed, right? He can re-Kimura me.
Oh, right.
Yeah, right? Or he could start, sometimes people will just start trying to crank the shoulder lock just by, being here, right? So when I get locked in on this Kimura here, elbows pinch in, right? Super heavy on the back of the arm, right? I can't relax. Even though I have a 2-on-1 grip against a strong guy, if I'm relaxed here, I'm gonna expose my own elbows. It's gonna be a bad time, right? So once I get this in, I need to figure out how I can pull my elbows in and keep good weight and make sure that, you know, everything is getting set in front of my chest here where I'm really strong. And then ideally, I'm gonna try and get this leg over onto the hip. That way my leg can help support my elbow here, right? Here, you know, if he postures up, there's really nothing to stop him from pulling me up besides my own body weight, right? And that could be a problem if you're smaller than your person, right? But if I can get this leg up, right, and then I pinch in with my knee onto my elbow, right, it helps fortify my elbow and arm strength here, and even if he postures up, now I have a little bit more direct control over his shoulder here, right, and then, yeah. Right, there are exceptions, especially with the Kimura. I've covered this a couple times, where every once in a while, if we need a little bit of space, you know, if we're here to control, sometimes I'll extend away, right? And my elbows actually go away from my body here, right? But this I'll only extend if I need a little bit more distance between myself and my opponent to maybe get my legs in, right? Or readjust my body. This is gonna be a lot weaker because there is so much space here. So just be aware that you can do this if you're able to maintain this figure 4 grip, right? If Ethan knows what he's doing, right, and he waits for me to do this, he'll start turning into me. And that could be a very painful grip break here. So if you think the person is really savvy, right, you're gonna try and keep your elbows in and your chest behind that elbow. But you know, if you need to move just for a bit, give yourself a little space by extending out, right, and then back to having your elbows nice and tight and in, right? There's a tendency for people to like have this elbow flared out and really like just try and pull up, which will probably work eventually, right? But what you want to think about, right, is again, you're going to be strongest with your elbows in. So, you know, once I get my guillotine grip here, I want to pull my elbow down into my body here, right? That'll help me be able to squish down into his head and maximize the amount of upward force going into his neck, right? As opposed to having my arms flared. This is going to be hard for me to apply upward pressure into his neck, right? Instead, I want to drop in and pull my elbow down into my hip, right? That's what we're going for. Guillotines, and darces.
We didn't do darces.
We didn't do darces?
Nope.
Darces, right? So, let's say we're in our basic, like we've rolled them over with the guillotine type sweep here, right? This elbow in idea, right? I use this concept to break people's posture down, right? Sometimes I use my knee, but elbow's usually first thing, where we reach out, right? And then I want to pull my elbow in to break this posture down and try and get this bottom arm in as deep as you can, right? So I'll reach in, but I'll pull this back to my center, and that's going to be really, really strong, right? And people's posture, super strong too, right? So we need a good way to break that down that's reliable. So it kind of depends on the person. Sometimes, right, they're super duper strong, and we don't have enough strength with this elbow. One thing I like to do is I'll reach up with my leg and start breaking this in, or use my leg to break this arm in, and that'll kind of help make that happen. So or like a double under.
Oh, this is the diaper changer.
Yeah. All right, so we're here, I reach, I get my grip, and then once I get my grip, my elbows, I pull them in. Yeah, that grip I was using in the kids' class. Right, when we're in side control and we have to get this, or we're trying to attack this arm, I'll reach, hook the arm, and then this elbow pulls in underneath me here. All right, and now I have a good connection to this arm and a way to apply good weight. And it's also easy for me to move around. pretty much the same as the underhook here. I put reaching up and then pulling the elbow back in. I'm dragging out here to isolate this arm and keep good weight on it. Up here in the Kimura, elbows come back, step around, keeping the elbows tight as I drop into this arm bar.
You know where the idea of attachment plays in a lot that you use is when, on that armbar like we were talking, when you hang up top, you know, when you put all your weight towards my head on the armbar, so that my shoulder, instead of it just being like this, it's like this. You know what I'm talking about?
That kind of works into like the reverse concept, right? Where I'm attacking, I want to keep my elbows close to me, but at the same time, right, I'm trying to bring your elbows away from your body here, right? So I can make this happen, and I'll hook my leg here. And now my goal is to expose the space underneath your ribs, because I want to get under there with my leg. What I don't like is having your elbow down here, and a lot of people will start to get under this leg and do a bunch of annoying stuff.
Right.
Okay, so I want to get into your armpit here, so I'll hook here, and now I'll pull this up. And now I can use this to occupy this space here. And now that your elbows are far away from your chest, now it's going to be a lot easier to straighten out your arm. Hopefully. Sometimes it's still a task, but it's easier.
That. I guess also in that position it becomes much more of a shoulder lock. You know, because I'll tap. I almost wrist locked myself as well.
Sometimes it's a nice lat stretch too. Usually it's when I go into that triangle, so if I come under here, it's weird. If this is on this side though, this is my favorite, because then I can go for this arm.
Gosh, I'm an alien right there.
What my old instructor would always do, he would get this far arm here and like just hang out with the elbows. And just basically just like plank on your chest with an elbow here. And then with gi, there's all these weird little paper cutter chokes. But other than that, you can just live here. And it's very comfortable for me.